Hey everybody, I know it's been a while since I last made a video on any of my YouTube channels, but after 2 or 3 weeks it looks like I'm back. And I just wanted to talk about a story that really hasn't been discussed at all anywhere. And it's about the fact that there is a bill right now in the House, sponsored by Congressman Ron Paul, to repeal those controversial provisions that were in the NDAA 2012 bill signed into law by President Obama on New Year's Eve. And those provisions, I think most of you already know by now, gave the authority to the executive branch to indefinitely detain any American citizen or anybody around the world for that matter that is deemed a terrorist threat, or what the big shocker here is engaging in hostilities, which is broad language. That can mean really anything what they consider to be a hostility. So it gave them the authority to detain those kind of people indefinitely without a trial, total violation of the Constitution. So Congressman Ron Paul presented this bill in Congress on January 17th, and it's to repeal Section 1021 of the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2012. That's basically all it is, just to repeal that part of the bill. And right now it only has 3 co-sponsors. Congressman Justin Amash of Michigan, John Duncan of Tennessee, and Walter Jones of North Carolina. So if they're not your congressman, and if your congressman isn't Ron Paul, then you need to get on the phone, call your congressman, tell them to support this bill. It's very important because the action that I saw a couple of weeks ago, so many people were motivated to go up against SOPA and PIPA, and eventually SOPA and PIPA were shelved, because millions of people spoke out. It was a big controversial thing on the internet, and it was mainly because Google and Wikipedia and other major websites promoted the opposition to go up against SOPA and PIPA. And that's great. They were using the power that they had to go up against these unconstitutional bills that would have totally stripped away freedom of speech and killed the internet and killed commerce on the internet as we know it. So it's very unfortunate that, when their interests are threatened, all of a sudden Google and Wikipedia and other websites want to do something about it because their business is at stake. But when it's something like NDAA, just as controversial, killing the internet is one thing, and also indefinitely detaining people, which is codified into law, is simply okay, is just on the same level as that. And it's just as bad as SOPA and PIPA. So it's very unfortunate that, the power that they had, they didn't, want to look into it or say anything about it. So, that's great. I mean, it was a great thing that I saw last month, was just the major opposition to SOPA and PIPA. I love seeing it. And it was mainly because you had large voices out there telling people, hey, look what's going on. And it's activated so many people to be opposed to it. Millions of people across the country. It was great to see, and they killed the bills. Hopefully we can get some of the congressmen and senators that are sponsoring those bills, or were sponsoring those bills, we can get them defeated in their own primaries or whenever the next time they're up for re-election. So Lamar Smith, the congressman from Texas, I think people need to start doing a grassroots organization and to try to throw him out in the primary process. I mean, people did it in 2010 when the Tea Party had certain candidates throw out certain Republicans in their primaries. I think there needs to be a huge concerted effort by not just Tea Party, but by pretty much anyone, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Moderate, you name it, to try to get Lamar Smith out of office in his primary. Because when it comes to the general election, I think his district is a safe one. He would easily be reelected just by people who don't pay much attention to the issues. They're just kind of get along, go along, mainline Republicans. But it's the real voters, the ones who do pay attention, who do go to the primaries, who do take that time off to go to something that isn't really seen as relevant or trendy. And they're the real voters. They're the ones that pay attention, and they are the ones that are informed and aware most of the time. And they go to the primaries and they take action. So I think, like I said, a large grassroots organization needs to come up in Lamar Smith's district, and they need to try to get him out in the primary. And I want to cover that later on in maybe a future video. it's time to start getting some of these people out of Washington. It was only done a little bit in 2010. 2010 was just a blip. I mean, we probably saw just a small handful of people get thrown out of office in their primaries or in the general election. That's not good enough. We need to get more people out. So I'll be talking about that later on down the road. So yeah, check out the page. I have the link below this video to check out the bill, or the bill to repeal Section 1021 of the NDAA 2012, sponsored by Ron Paul, co-sponsored by 3 other congressmen as of right now. We need to get more people. Like I said, call your congressman up, call their office, tell them, hey, pass the word on, oppose the NDAA 2012 by co-sponsoring Ron Paul's bill, HR 3785. HR 3785. Tell them to do that. Okay. Thanks for watching my video. Check out the links below and have a good day.